What's up, YouTube? Watching Tomb Raider, burning question on everybody's mind, was it good? This is how you do a video game movie. We've had several video game movies where it's kind of like, oh hey, we're going to take the title of the game or some of the main characters from the game, maybe not quite, and we're not going to do nothing you've ever played, and it's going to be a whole new adventure thing that nobody seems to really like. We got two Tomb Raider movies back in the day. I believe I was in middle school / high school around that time, and we had Angelina Jolie. She looked the part, she looked like Lara Croft, she had the accent down, she, you know, explorer, adventurer, scholar person with the ponytail, dual-wielding pistols, busty up here. The movies, while those two old ones weren't great, they weren't bad necessarily either. They were just kind of like, that's kind of what the whole Tomb Raider thing is. There's a tomb, there's always a tomb or some kind of forgotten, lost, hidden something or rather, and she knows she's got to get there first because this other bad party wants to get it for either power gain, money, whatever it may be. And that's the typical gist of most every game you play of Tomb Raider. That's the gist of both those old movies. So literally kind of going into it, it's kind of hard to mess that up. While the last two movies weren't, like I said, great, they weren't good, we get to this one. Okay, this new Tomb Raider movie, just called Tomb Raider. I love the fact that when I was watching this movie, she was doing several things that I had to make the character do in the game. For example, it was in the movie, it's not that big of a spoiler, but there's a part where she has to get across this kind of like little chasm-esque situation, but she can't jump it. She can't, there's no way she can do it, just like a regular person can't. However, there's some stuff above to where she hops up and she does the shimmy across. She's like, dude, like I do that. Jump up, hit A, and then Y to go over. Phenomenal. Several different moments of the movie felt like I was playing the game, but it was like a live version representation of that. And I liked that. And I love the fact it was very visceral. When they they took Lara Croft to a younger age / her like first adventure or becoming the Tomb Raider. She's sloppy. She's super sloppy. There's no getting around that. She doesn't really know much of anything. She kind of does whatever she's going to do, and then halfway through realizing, hey, this wasn't a really well thought out way to go about it. So I enjoyed the fact that the movie was very gritty, and it was dark, it was visceral, it was very believable. Oh my god, it was like a story of survival. Like if you're stuck in this situation, like what are you going to do to survive it? Because here's what she's doing to survive it. There were some issues with the movie, very predictable. But I don't know if that's because I've played so many Tomb Raider games or I've just watched so many movies. You can almost kind of guess A, B, C. There is a little something in the center that's like, didn't quite see that coming at the same time. You did see it coming. Like when she gets hurt, I understand like when I get hurt, you know, I'm like, ah. But after a while, the little shrilliness of it kind of, it's like, okay. Especially like towards the end of the movie. It's like you know, based on the preview, you've fallen off a log. You know, you did your jump thing off the plane. I mean, you clearly have taken some damage and you've been kind of beaten by nature and whatnot. So, do we really still have to kind of... They kind of dumbed Lara Croft down a little bit. She's not this super smart, I know a bunch of languages and I know things. She's very good with puzzles. She's very good at looking at pictures and hieroglyphs and whatnot, kind of deciphering what it all means, or putting together like, hey, this entire thing tells us this, but this book is saying that, so there's something clearly not adding up here. I like how they kind of made to where she was more believable as a character, not this, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying a person can't be super smart and super athletic and super this and super that, but at the same time it's kind of like, well, is there anything you can't do? Like, you're just a laundry list of, you know, perfection, to where she's a young woman, she's getting the gist of how things are. The movie was super good. It was super fun. It was super legit. Like, oh my god. And I was going to say this, I know I avoid spoilers, but they set it up for another one, and I so hope we get another one, because I want to see more of that same universe, that same growth as a gaming character, that same growth as a, you know, person in film, where they had a series of games and comics and action figures, you name it. I want to see more of that. I want to dive deeper in that world, like give us a new tomb, give us something else, and really just have fun with it. And you can really tell that the creators of this cared to either play the games or actually like, you know what, Tomb Raider does this, Lara Croft does this. She doesn't do that. So we're not going to have her do that. We're going to have her do this. Loved it. Great movie. A lot of fun. I'm still like processing and digesting all of it because it's what I would want in a game movie. Seriously. Any game that they're going to make a movie, use this as your inspirational point, as your leaping off point. Like, here's what they did. So let's do the same thing because you already have a fan base for it. There's no reason to try and reinvent the wheel or fix it or add something, whatever. It's already there and people like it. That's why they're going to it. So just do what was already made. And there were a couple of small little things that didn't ruin the movie experience, but at the same time, you're kind of like, if we're going for this kind of grounded in reality believability, a couple of these small things you put in there, you're like, yeah, no way that's happening. Not at all. No way. Nah. Sorry, no chance. The music is good, the cinematography is good, the sets are good, the characters are good. Even the big bad guy. When you first, meet him, it's kind of like, okay, you're supposed to be the bad guy, but thus far you haven't really. But then as the movie progresses, he does this more dickish things, and you're kind of like, oh my god, this guy needs to go. Like I hate every time he's on screen, and that's the point of a bad guy. If a bad guy's done well, you hate the fact when he's on screen at the same time, you're like, what's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? What's he gonna do? The movie was a lot of fun. And the traps, that's the other fun thing about it is, seriously, some of these traps in the movie are straight from the game, like no joke. The whole like kind of bob, dove, duck, weave, and kind of slide out of the way, and here comes, the blades, or here comes the rolly thing you see in the preview. Perfect! Perfect! Do it again! We'll scratch that. You know what? We're gonna round this up to a 9. Yeah. 9. Tomb Raider, 9 out of 10, only because there are some predictabilities and a couple small little kind of like but other than that, movie is solid. You gotta go see it. I recommend seeing it. Just see it. I'm fumbling with my words. It was that good. Go on ahead and subscribe to this channel if you haven't done so already, because if you do that, you will get more movie reviews like this, plus some throwbacks, the unboxings, and a couple other small little things that are on their way. They're about ready for takeoff and just to kind of fly out there and see what happens with it. So you don't want to miss that because it's going to be fun, it's going to be enjoyable, entertaining, and at the very least, hopefully makes you smile. Go on ahead and also like this video, favorite it, and share it. Do all that fun stuff. I'd really appreciate it. And remember guys, you heard it here at The Source. I have a ton of stitches.